The Oregon coast has so much to offer. It is truly magic. In our 9-day road trip along the entire Oregon coast, we saw so many beautiful sights and did so many amazing things as we journeyed approximately 350 miles from Brookings by the California border to Astoria by the Washington border. When planning an Oregon coast trip, it can be so daunting to know which things to do and which places to see, especially if you're out for a limited time. So we've narrowed down all the amazing things into the top 10 things to do on the Oregon coast with hiking, kids, and adventure in mind. And most of them are free or inexpensive and do not break the bank. They are numbered in a south to north order, the same direction we traveled on our Oregon coast road trip. Each is listed with a $ legend to convey the cost. The first one on our list is experiencing a sunset at Harris Beach State Park. For our first stop along the Oregon coast, we arrived to a gorgeous sunset, welcoming us to a beautiful beach. The setting sun with the giant sea stacks made this location absolutely spectacular and hard to top. Harris Beach is the southernmost state park along the Oregon coast, near Brookings. The park is one of the best in Oregon with a beautiful, rugged coastline, and it's not as crowded as its northerly counterparts. Sunsets aren't the only amazing things to enjoy here. There's plenty of birding, beachcombing, camping, and tide pulling to be found here. Number 2 on our list is riding a jet boat along the Rogue River from Gold Beach. We took our jet boat adventure with Jerry's Rogue Jets, and we did the longest and most adventurous option, the Wilderness Whitewater Tour. The trip was 7 hours and 104 miles round trip, and it was definitely wild and scenic. We even went through Class 3 rapids, and a yummy barbecue lunch was included. The jet boat typically went about 35 miles per hour, but went up to 50 miles per hour at its fastest, and even spun in circles at times to make it extra exciting. Make sure you wear rain gear because you will likely get wet, and keep an eye out for a variety of wildlife along the way. Traveling to the westernmost point in Oregon at Cape Blanco State Park is number 3 on our list. It is the second westernmost point in the contiguous U.S. after Cape Alava in Washington. Arriving at this state park, we truly felt like we were out in the middle of the ocean. Cape Blanco's unique location is very exposed as it juts out into the Pacific. Needle Rock, an impressive pillar, protrudes from the water. There are views all around. It is absolutely breathtaking. And what made it even more beautiful when we were there were the purple lupines covering the hillsides. The campground here was our favorite of the entire trip. It was very peaceful, camping in the tall trees. The campsites were well spaced, and it felt very remote. The park is also home to the oldest standing lighthouse in Oregon, as well as fishing and hiking opportunities. The fourth one on our list is horseback riding on Bandon Beach with Bandon Beach Riding Stables. This was a fun and unique activity for us along the Oregon coast, and one of our all-time favorites. It was the boys' first time riding horses, and they pair younger and more scared kids with older, very mellow horses. Ages 6 and up can ride, and the maximum weight limit is 240 to 300 pounds. They have multiple time slots available to book each day. 90% of the ride is on the beach, and the rest is on an adjoining trail. Our 1-hour beach ride was indescribable, especially in the moody fog, and we turned around at these neat rock formations. We would have been content for riding longer. It was too short. Number 5 on our list is hiking the 1-mile Yoakum Point Loop, a hidden gem of the area. It's tucked away and more of like a neighborhood, so it's easy to see why there aren't many people on this trail. The hike takes you through a pleasing forest with a variety of trees and a salty scent of the ocean in the air that leads you to spectacular and unique views from a few points along this stunning sea cliff peninsula. Beware of the steep edges though. There are unfenced drop-offs, so you definitely don't want to bring real young kids. And there are lots of social trails, so it's helpful to have a route finding app like AllTrails with you. And you definitely want your camera. The sixth one on our list is seeing Oregon's most popular and most powerful lighthouse, Hecate Head, at dusk. Because we were running several hours behind schedule, we accidentally saw this bright lighthouse at dusk with just enough daylight left to see the beautiful beach and waves crashing down below. It was an unforgettable view, with its stunning location perched on the cliff, one of the most photographed vistas in Oregon. Hecate Head has the strongest light, which can be seen 21 miles from land. Make sure you stop at the pullout just beyond the Sea Lion Caves when heading north for the most epic view of this lighthouse. If you can only see one lighthouse on the Oregon coast, this one is it, and hopefully you get a clear day like we did. Number 7 on our list is catching crabs at Rockaway Beach, only 30 minutes from famous Cannon Beach. Our boys got really into it and absolutely loved it. It was one of their favorite activities of the trip, and they often talk about wanting to go back and do this very thing again, except they'd like to catch one big enough to eat the next time. The really nice thing is that you don't even need the gear. At Kelly's Brighton Marina, you can rent a baited ring, which includes a bucket, ruler, life jackets for kids 12 and under, instructions, and cooking of legal-sized catches, and there's no time limit as long as they're open. You can also rent a boat for 2 hours that includes 3 baited rings. Be sure to watch our full episode to learn some tips for crabbing here. The 8th one on our list is having a yummy seafood picnic on the beach in Tolovana Park with a great view of Haystack Rock, without all the crowds of actually being at Cannon Beach. Tolovana Park, which I'm sure very few have heard of, is just south of famous Cannon Beach. Park at the Tolovana Beach State Recreation Area, which shares the parking lot with Moe's Seafood and Chowder, and grab your meal to go and find a place to enjoy the amazing view, just steps away from where you park. This is a good alternative to enjoy the scenic 235-foot tall sea stack from a distance and escape some of the headache of actually being at Cannon Beach. Number 9 on our list is doing the adventurous 2-mile Crescent Beach hike at beautiful Ecola State Park, just north of Cannon Beach. In our opinion, this is the best hike along the Oregon coast and should not be missed. Just make sure not to wear your new lovely white sneakers. You'll likely encounter mud, and lots of it, on this trail, but it is so worth it for what you are rewarded with at the bottom. Not only will you see one of the most amazing beaches you've ever seen, but you'll also see a waterfall, sea caves, sea tunnels, tide pools, and secret beaches, as long as you time your arrival around low tide. You can also see Haystack Rock in the distance, and you might even make a unique find, like we did. Touring the old military fort at Fort Stevens State Park is number 10 on our list. The 4,300-acre state park is located as far as you can drive north on the Oregon coast, near Astoria and the Washington border. All 3 boys enjoyed playing at the fort during our self-guided tour that goes around the different batteries, even with replicas of the original guns, and a beautiful setting bordering the Columbia River. It is the perfect stop for not only history buffs, but also outdoor junkies. The park is also home to an old shipwreck site on a scenic beach that you can actually drive your vehicle on. Recreational opportunities abound, including camping at one of its nearly 500 campsites, making it one of the largest campgrounds in the country. But make sure you bring your bug repellent. Before planning your trip to the coast, here are some more tips to help you with your trip planning. Number 1. Several of our top picks are state parks, so you want to make sure you visit the Associated Oregon State Park webpage to check for current advisories, or closures. Oregon's wet weather can sometimes cause hazards that can affect your visit, and there is often construction closures. Number 2, flexibility is key to having a good trip to the coast. Flexibility with closures, flexibility with weather, because it does rain a lot in Oregon, and flexibility with crowds. Number 3, restaurants close earlier than normal or on certain days of the week, especially during off-season or in smaller towns, so plan accordingly. Number 4, believe it or not, there is no sales tax in Oregon, which is definitely a perk if you like to shop or just plain like to save money. And number 5, if you can't fit all of our top 10 into one trip, then come back for more another time. Or let the crowds flock to the North Coast while you focus on just the South Coast, which, in our opinion, is the best. For more details and inspiration, check out our 8 specific Oregon Coast episodes, and see you on our next adventure.